Hello and welcome to part 4 of my series where we talk about mythical creatures. Today we're talking about draugr, which are the undead of Norse mythology. If you've ever played Skyrim, you might think of them as dusty skeletons waiting in ancient tombs. But the real mythology behind the draugr is actually, I think, a little bit darker than that. Because these weren't just mindless corpses, these were actual people, kings, warriors, sorcerers that refused to stay dead. The word draugr comes from Old Norse and it roughly means again walker. In Icelandic folklore, they're sometimes called afturganga. I think I'm pronouncing that right, hopefully. And that literally means one who walks after death. So unlike ghosts or spirits, the draugr weren't souls that moved on. They were physical corpses that got back up after death. But they weren't like your typical zombies either because they kept their strength and often their memories too. They weren't brought back by magic or necromancy, they were brought back by their own will, usually because they were greedy or jealous or angry or sometimes just too proud to rest. Descriptions of the draugr vary, but most say that they were swollen and corpse-like, with skin black or blue from decay and glowing red or pale eyes. And the smell was truly unbearable. They were said to be stronger than any man and could crush through armor easily, and also so heavy that the ground shook when they walked. They lived in their burial mounds, guarding the treasures that they were buried with, and if you tried to rob a draugr's grave, you'd have to fight it, and most people didn't survive. But not all of the draugr stayed in their tombs. Some stories say that they could leave at night to attack livestock, spread disease, and even hunt down the living who'd wronged them in life. The draugr weren't just physically strong, they had magical abilities too. They could shapeshift into animals like cats, bulls, or sea monsters even. Some could grow to enormous sizes, literally towering over houses. Some could slip through stone, some could control the weather, or disappear into smoke. They were also known to spread madness. Just seeing one could cause sickness, nightmares, and delusion. And if they really hated you, they would appear in your dreams before coming for you in the flesh. Some would sit on the chests of sleeping men just to crush them slowly to death, kind of like a sleep paralysis demon. The draugr symbolized more than just an undead monster. In Norse culture, they were a warning about greed, dishonor, and pride. People who were too attached to their wealth, vengeance, or earthly power could become trapped in their bodies, unable to move on, and would become draugr. They represented the idea that death doesn't purify, and that who you were in life follows you into the grave. To prevent someone from becoming a draugr, people used all sorts of methods, like burying people face down, tying their big toes together, driving iron nails into the corpses, or placing scythes above their necks so that they couldn't rise again. Some even burned the dead entirely just in case. Today, draugr show up in all kinds of pop culture, like The Witcher, Skyrim, like I said, God of War. But in those games and movies and TV shows, they're mostly just cannon fodder, just another undead army. But in mythology, they weren't just random mindless monsters. They were generally considered intelligent, retaining skills and knowledge from life, and they came back for unfinished business. So that's my insight on the draugr. Again, this was all just my own research because I enjoy this kind of stuff. So if any of this is wrong or the facts are wrong, I'm sorry in advance. But yeah, let me know if there's another creature or folklore that you would like to talk about next.